And people love hearing our sweet symphonic voice anyway. We are going to just fill someone's day in their car ride on a road trip. They're going to pop us on Apple Podcasts, and they're going to listen to this 90 minutes and say, you know what? It's the best 90 minutes I've ever had in my life. Get ready to tag in and experience the world of professional wrestling like never before. Welcome to the Hot Tag Podcast with Billy and Sal. Salvatore.
William.
It's September 9th.
Right, Saturday.
I know we usually do this on a Sunday, but you know, we have shit to do tomorrow, so we're doing it tonight.
Here we are.
How you feeling?
Tired, but good.
Okay. I mean, listen. I'm on my fourth cup of coffee today, so I think I'm holding up.
I got my third right here, so.
Yeah? With your almond milk in it?
Yes.
I put almond milk in my coffee, too. I use Italian sweet cream. Yeah. It's like, like the coffee milk creamer things you find in, like, the 7-Eleven and, like, the semi-refrigerated countertop inlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's your week?
My week is crazy.
Did the kids go back to school this week?
They did. Kids went back to school. Got a high school kid in the house now, which is very scary, but very exciting for him. You know, he's, I'm just thinking about it. Makes me feel really old. Like in another 2 years, he's going to be able to drive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, whoa. I'm just getting old.
Are we all?
Yeah, I don't feel old, though. No, I fucking feel old.
Sometimes, you know.
How was your week?
With the day off on Monday for the holiday, it kind of made the week feel longer. I don't know.
Really? Yeah?
For me, the week dragged. But Thursday and Friday was back to school, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
It was something to look forward to, and now regular old fucking whatever. Although I did get some good news.
Oh.
That I'll share with you off air.
Oh, okay.
It's involving personal stuff.
Okay. Okay.
But so that was exciting.
I don't have any good news. I don't remember the last time I had good news. No, I'm just kidding. The good news is, Sal.
Number 5?
They let us back in the building for number 5. Episode 5. Oh, man. We're just milestone. And
they'll let anybody on the internet.
Yeah, they really will. Last week, hopefully you guys were able to catch it on YouTube or all the social media platforms that we are on. And if you can't find us on social media, you could always scan the QR code that's right in between me and Sal. It'll take you to all of our social media, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Sal has a personal profile on nakedmonkey.com.
Yes.
But it's a paid subscription. Just kidding.
You're on Feet Finders, I believe.
I am on Feet Finder. It's the only website my wife will let me go on. Yeah. So check us out. And last week we had Patrick Stackpole on. Great input on everything. We spoke a lot of CM Punk. We're gonna talk a lot of CM Punk today. Not the whole episode though. Thank God.
No, but this guy just keeps dominating the news cycle. It's not his fault. It's what all these weird reports are coming out now, and it's just like.
Yeah, let the speculation begin.
Like what, this guy is gone. Like it's over, But as such, because we're talking about it, people talk about it.
He's still buzzing.
People like the Meltzers of the world and whoever else, they like hold on to shit. Just post about it, just like when things get hot. What I mean? Like
like
I
us.
mean, I guess that's the smart thing to do when you're running a business, right? But
Yeah, yeah. You got to give the people what they want, Sal. Just like
yeah,
they're
but
dying to
like,
see my feet.
but I'm talking about
They're
yeah,
dying to see CM Punk.
I'm talking about all these like reports that just come out of the woodwork after everything. Like, all right,
Yeah.
so here and
Hmm.
there you hear about like the issues he's had with Nemeth and then Perry and Christopher Daniels, Matt Hardy and stuff like, oh, they're not allowed in the building. And like, okay,
William
cool.
Regal.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You're hearing about this after.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
where
It's
was all
like,
this when he was still there?
yeah, it's I think all the dirty laundry comes out soon as the guy gets fired. You know, yeah, it's there's a lot of dirty laundry on him, but there are a lot of people that really support him still, and that are really like, listen, we haven't heard his side of the story yet, which we haven't. He hasn't
There's
released a
gonna
statement.
right. He has enough of a fan base and probably
Yeah,
friends within the community that he's always gonna have some supporters and backers, as he should. I mean, like you just said, we haven't heard his side of the story. I don't know what his side of the story could be other than like this guy was talking shit and I beat him up, which we kind of already know.
yeah,
But but it's Kevin Nash said something the other day, which I think it's something to. I don't think he was saying it to be mean. I think he was like
mhm,
legitimately saying like this guy needs to maybe get mentally, his health checked. You know,
yeah, yeah. He said he needs mental, like some serious mental health help.
right? And it's not like to be funny. It's just when you burn so many bridges, and it's like he's almost like proud to do it. That's just like a weird way to live to me.
Yeah, and the fact, and I think Kevin Nash is alluding to this too, the fact that he was making millions of dollars and threw it all away.
Right,
Um,
because you're mad at a couple. Don't get me wrong. I like we said, we talked about it last week. It definitely, if I'm him, I'm feeling like somebody's fucking with me too, and not just somebody, more than a few people.
yeah,
But
they were definitely, yeah. I mean, and it shows. Like it shows just by like who was it, Matt Jackson that did the
okay,
victory lap twice.
yeah, yeah, and it's
Um,
like, but at the same time, bro, you're 40 fucking 5 years old,
yeah,
and you still have that chip on your shoulder, like the world is just you know what I mean, like it owes you something,
yeah,
or like it's you against the world. And it's like, all right, when you're a punk rock kid and you're in your teens and early 20s, that's cool and that's the whole deal. But when you're 45 years old, it's time to grow up a little bit. And
yeah, yeah,
I'm so you could even classify me somewhat of a CM Punk apologist. I'm a huge fan of the guy, and
yeah.
I
You
will
are.
defend him most cases. But at the same
You
time,
even named you even named your turtle Phil.
well, I don't have a turtle, but now that if I had one, I would consider it. But but in all seriousness, though, like you're in your mid 40s and you're getting into fights in the locker room with people half your age. What is
Yeah,
Jungle Boy? 22? I don't know what he's
yeah.
probably not 22, but he's young.
No,
But
he's young. He's young. He's a young cat. Finn Balor said something this week. Um, I didn't think it was like super newsworthy, but it's fair to mention here. And now he said that somebody asked him if he would wrestle CM Punk, and he said that he would wrestle a broomstick if they paid him enough to do it. And
of
I
course,
think it was a little bit of a shot at the guys at AEW. Like, hey, you got a problem with Punk? That's fine. And also, I think it was a shot at Punk too. You got a problem, guys? Just keep your mouths shut. So you guys are getting paid. Just shut up, work, and you don't have to have relationships outside of this business. You don't have to go home with each other. You don't
no.
have to go stay at the same hotel, or if you do stay at the same hotel, you don't have to stay in the same room. Just keep your mouth shut, collect your paycheck, and go home.
And do your job.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we want to talk about because I know you talked about it, like you having a little rundown, the whole the Young Bucks probation thing that
Oh
you
yeah,
mentioned.
that's perfect. Let's actually get into that right now. Actually,
How
um,
ridiculous is that? These guys, and I could understand to an extent maybe not wanting to work with somebody. I could understand them still being a little salty if he did beat them up, 3-on-1. But it's just it boggles my mind that they have enough influence and power to say, hey, we're not going to even consider anything until this guy goes 6 months without incidents. Which again, I get, right? I can understand that. But they're EVPs. They're in a position of authority within a company, and they're saying no to a meeting to potentially squash any kind of problems that there is within your company. What is that?
Yeah. I mean, listen, when I heard this, and I think this is something that you sent to me as well, because you're just on top of the wrestling news, like flies on shit. Um, you know, when I heard this, I was like, the balls on these guys to say, okay, we'll work with CM Punk as long as he doesn't get into a backstage incident in the next 6 months. And I get it. Listen, I totally get it. They probably knew that he couldn't. But still, like, these are not the news reports that AEW wants to be coming out. Listen, no matter how you slice it, AEW is the second company. AEW is probably going to be the second company for a really long time. Kurt Angle, on his podcast, recently said, yes, Tony Khan and the Khan family has money, but they don't have WWE money. WWE is worth billions and billions and billions. It's insane to me that, and this is to me, just this is my opinion, listen, full disclaimer, because, we get messages and a lot of love messages, but, occasionally we'll get somebody that'll be like, oh, you're a CM Punk fan, or you're putting this guy over, yada, yada, yada. We're not a strictly 100% based news. Like, we're not on here breaking wrestling news. We cover the wrestling news and we give our opinion on it. We're an opinion-based podcast.
Right.
So now that that's out of
Not
the
like
way,
we have any sources on the inside feeding us information.
Yeah, and listen, and those people that give us the hate messages, we have a sound clip for you guys, and we'll play it now.
You fucking mark!
That's fine. You guys, we love everyone. We're not biased. We give our opinion. But saying that, my opinion is that AEW, the backstage drama, really hurts AEW bad. Like,
I think so.
It turns a lot of people off. I know it turns me off sometimes when I'm like, yo, like, this is locker room stuff that we have dealt with on the indie scene. And this is $1 million company. They're putting 80,000 plus seats, fans in seats, and they're having backstage drama like this, where the talent doesn't want to work with each other, and they're putting people on probation. Like, it seems crazy. It seems crazy.
Yeah, I just don't understand how Tony Khan. Listen, I understand that AEW elite, right? All Elite Wrestling, the elite in All Elite Wrestling is the elite group. That they are EVPs,
yeah.
and I get why he. But in saying that, the buck stops with you, no pun intended. And
I like what you did there.
Yeah, but you need to take control of your company and talk to these guys and say, hey, I don't care if you ever work with them. I don't care if you like them. I don't care. But you guys need to have a sit-down conversation with each other. Find out where all these feelings are coming from. Squash that, and let's do business. Again, you don't have to work with each other. I'm not saying you have to be next to each other, but all this petty back and forth nonsense. Like, dude, they just had two of their biggest shows and well-praised shows of all time, a week apart. A week apart.
Yeah.
And what is anybody talking about? They're still talking about CM Punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
They're still talking about the drama backstage.
And All In Wembley was awesome. And the only thing anybody was talking about coming out of it, not the storyline with MJF and Adam Cole being great, not the dope-ass tag team title match. No, they're talking about
Stampede.
They're not talking about that. They're talking about CM Punk and Jack Perry. And then a week later, All Out on the heels of CM Punk getting fired and like that. And really like rising up and putting on a tremendous show, especially with the main event. Bryan Danielson probably stepping in like less than a week's notice.
Yeah.
Killing it. And nobody's talking about that. They're talking about the Young Bucks telling people that still work with CM Punk if he stays out of trouble for 6 months. It's like, what are we doing?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch All Out. I caught the highlights because I
So
was
that I
doing
was
some
on I was,
stuff.
I
But
was on the phone with you last week.
you know what I did catch? I caught the media scrum because I wanted to see what they were going to say about CM Punk. Because them firing CM Punk, the timing of it was absolutely astronomically, stupendously stupid, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think it actually worked out.
Listen,
Think about it like this: if they don't fire him before,
Mhm.
that weekend is easily taken over. Now they fired. If you're gonna do it before it, right? So that way
Yeah.
you could go into it with the fans knowing he's not gonna be in.
yeah,
Tony Khan did the right thing, I think, and went out in front of everybody, as silly as it looked, and he told everybody, this guy's not gonna be here.
yeah.
So
My point is that CM Punk getting fired dominated headlines everywhere. Nobody was talking about All Out. Everybody was talking about CM Punk getting fired. You
it's a
gave
shame.
this guy the spotlight, and it completely sucked the spotlight away from their pay per view. The pay per view was dope. People 2 weeks later are still talking about CM Punk. They're not talking about anything else. Now they're talking about CM Punk in WWE.
Yeah.
That's the thing going forward. It's not AEW firing CM Punk. No, that's behind us. Now, where is CM Punk going to go? Who is he going to wrestle? If he goes to WWE, possible matches, and we actually are going to get into some. It's a perfect segue to get into some now. But
Who's the
yeah,
first
it
one you got?
dominated the
Who do you got?
headlines. Well, obviously, the obvious one. I want to get the obvious one out of the way. But the Tribal Chief. Straight edge CM Punk versus the Tribal Chief. Does it take place?
I'll say this is really the only one that I really care for right now.
Yeah. Really?
Um,
Why is that?
because it's Roman Reigns. He's
Yeah.
the guy in the whole industry. And it's a guy coming in, probably the hottest guy that you can get that he hasn't worked with yet. You know what I mean? Besides
Yeah.
like LA Knight. But like, do you
Yeah.
want to do that? Like, we'll talk about that later. But Punk is a huge, regardless of how anybody feels about him, the guy's a huge name.
Mm-hmm.
And he will, if he comes in to do something with Roman, that's going to bring eyes, especially considering what he just came off of. And
For sure.
if you really, really, really want to dig a little deeper, Roman, so when the now infamous Punk Cabana podcast, after Punk left WWE, he was talking about how when he was working with the Shield, and the management, they just kept telling him, make Roman look strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, you remember that? And he just kept harping on that and harping on it because like almost like he was annoyed that they were saying that. And listen, I get it. Anybody would be annoyed, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I get it. Like he's telling me 17 times within a matter of 30 minutes, I understand what you're saying. But then he because he was so, popping at that time, he was, you know what I mean, because of the whole situation. The fans took that and turned that negative energy on Roman Reigns. He wasn't getting booed. Not like it ended up being. I'm sure there was still some people here or there, but how it ended up being, he wasn't getting booed like that until CM Punk said that.
Yeah.
Right? So, you got that.
Yeah, because that exposes that hand-picked.
Right. Fast forward, a couple of years ago, Roman Reigns is doing a podcast and CM Punk's name comes up. And he mentions that he would work with him if it, if the fans wanted, if it made sense. He's like, but he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Because of that. He said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, but like the guy said something and made my life and my job harder for a few years than it had to be.
I don't think any Shield member likes CM Punk on a personal level.
No. The whole Roman thing, I don't think that was his intention. I don't think his intention was to be like, yo, this guy's the handpicked guy, fuck him. It was more of just him explaining his frustration with people basically telling him he doesn't know how to do his job because all you had to do was tell him one time and he gets it.
Yeah.
But they kept harping on it, right? So then he got annoyed. But what happened is people took that negative energy and just threw it on Roman Reigns, and everybody would say all these things like this guy can't wrestle, he sucks. Which is, don't get me wrong, the big dog character. It was a little like typical, get grade A good guy, you know.
Yeah, and then
But the
we could
guy was
definitely
good.
all tell that they were force feeding him down our
Right.
throats.
But you can't say he wasn't good. You could say I'm not into that. That would
Yeah,
make sense. But once you start saying he sucks, it's like, all right, I can't even listen to you anymore. You could say all day that you're just not into that. But even what he's doing now, you could say I'm just not into it, and fine, cool. You can't say he sucks though.
no, no,
But
no.
that is the
And
big match I want to see. I think that's the obvious one. It's
mm,
the only one I can think of off the top of my head that I'm just like, yes, that is what I want to see.
well, there was a rumor that was going around that CM Punk was quietly in talks with WWE at some point, and they were trying to work something out. And what they were trying to work out was CM Punk returning to the Rumble, and going into a program with this guy. So now this guy here, Kevin Owens, was apparently it was pitched. Again, these are all speculative things. Kevin Owens was supposed to eliminate CM Punk from the Rumble, apparently, and they were supposed to start a program and, work to a match at WrestleMania. But could it take place if CM Punk comes back? Could you see these two guys, tying up in the squared circle?
Could I? Yes. I want to say that report, I read the same thing you did. I think that's just erroneous, pure speculation. I'll tell you what.
Yep.
Pretty sure he was still under contract to AEW when these supposed talks, I guess, were going on, or the interest. Also, he was hurt. He wasn't coming back at the Royal Rumble. He was hurt.
Yeah.
Now, if you told me now he could come back at the Rumble, then that's something that they would do. That I'd be into that.
Yeah.
A little bit, because again, I think there's some negative feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing an interview that Owens did. We're talking, he was still in Ring of Honor when I think he had like a pod, but CM Punk's name came up, and Owens just told the story that CM Punk was not exactly the nicest to him back in that day,
Yeah.
and then also when the Young Bucks thing happened. So if I don't know if you remember, before Punk left, like him and Austin were like teasing a program with each other that never happened.
Yeah. I remember that.
Also,
He wore the Stone Cold shirt for the pipe bomb.
yeah,
Yeah.
CM Punk has always stated that the only thing he didn't do that he always wanted to do was main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, Kevin Owens is good friends with the Young Bucks. So after that whole situation happened, he just posted a picture of him and Stone Cold in the main event of WrestleMania on his social media. No caption, no nothing. Just,
No, yeah.
you know
It's
what I
like,
mean?
hey,
So,
look, motherfucker, I did it.
right. So that would be fun, but I like Owens a lot. I think, but he's just not hot enough right now to the point where, like, if you bring Punk in, that can't be the program.
Yeah.
You got to put, if you're going to bring Punk in as hot as he is right now, kind of, you got to put him right at the top. And there's only one guy.
Yeah, and this next one I want to get into is a whole side story to it. But the visionary, the revolutionary, the guy who can't stand Phil Brooks on a personal level has made that very clear.
How much of that is a work, though?
Freaking Rollins. I don't know. Listen, here's my take on it.
Because years ago, he was tweeting at him to wrestle him. Years ago, he was tweeting at, come on, you coward, all telling him to wrestle. And now he just can't stand the guy who wants him away. Sounds fishy to me.
If it's a work, then this is one hell of a work. Because what Seth Rollins said about CM Punk, do you remember this video?
Yes.
When this thing dropped, I actually have the quote, what Seth Rollins said, and I'll put it on the screen. Philly Phil, stay away, you cancer. Get away from me forever. I don't like Phil. He's a jerk. Did we just figure that out? Everybody in the room is like, did he say that? Yeah, he's a jerk. Come on. We figured it out over there. We knew it over here. I don't want him back. Go do something else. Bye. See you later. Listen.
I changed my mind. If it's not Roman Reigns, that's the one I want to see.
Yeah, so if that's not a work for him to call him a cancer, for him to say "get away from me forever," just straight up say I don't like him. He's a jerk. Did everybody just figure that out that he's a cancer? Those are strong words, and those words are starting to pop up again now that everybody's kind of putting together fantasy matches with CM Punk coming back to WWE if he does decide to do that. I would like to see this match. Listen, I think Seth Rollins has the Shawn Michaels thing going for him where he could wrestle a broomstick and make the broomstick look good. Seth Rollins is extremely talented in the ring, arguably probably greatest wrestler of all time and probably the greatest wrestler right now living, like in the business. Him, I know Ospreay gets that title sometimes. You have to throw Seth's name in there. Guy's a workhorse. Guy does great. Guy puts on good matches. Doesn't have a crappy match often. But yeah, I would like to see these guys go at it. But, I'm sure Phil Brooks is not going to be welcomed to open arms.
No, absolutely not. Not by everybody.
WWE, I feel like, is way more professional. And they know... Like, listen, these guys are not... I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was Kevin Nash or Bully Ray. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this because I don't remember who said it. I'm sure somebody in the comments will gladly remind me. But somebody was like, Vince would have never put up with that shit. He would have never put up with that shit. No way. The Undertaker would have never put up with that shit.
No, but at the same time, the WWE is like even if there was like an altercation, like you probably wouldn't hear about it for a while. And if you did hear about it, you might just hear little bits about like, oh, they had an altercation, but you wouldn't hear anything like Vince McMahon was fearing for his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's as far as, did you see, I don't know how true it is, but I seen something. I believe somebody wrote an article, something about 2023, the year toxic men finally get their comeuppance. It was from Donald Trump to CM Punk.
Oh, God.
I started dying.
Yeah.
But
it's just AEW looks like a mess.
But it seems like a big smear campaign, right? Like, all right, this guy he's obviously a douchebag, right? People there's not a lot of people. Right.
He's a jerk, and that's okay.
He's very he's got his beliefs and he stands on them, and he doesn't back down. He's not willing to compromise on anything. Yeah. However, and there's not a lot of people that how many people, you could probably count on one hand how many people have really nice things to say about him. Or I'm being hyperbolic, but there's the ratio of people that don't like him to like him is just crazy, probably. But to call him toxic and it's like for essentially standing up for himself, it's a little weird to me. Yeah,
I mean, he's a jerk, but I'm sure he's not a jerk to everybody. He's a jerk probably for good reason. He's a smart guy. He's not a dummy. He's not some Joe Schmo backyard wrestler that they threw into Tough Enough and he just so happened to do something cool. He worked and clawed and climbed his way up the ladder in the professional wrestling world. He made it to WWE. He had his big moments in both companies. He's a smart guy. I just think, he, like you said, he has very strong beliefs and he doesn't like to compromise on those things. And I think also he is, a realistic kind of person that's going to say, hey, listen, if you're going to talk shit, you better be ready to, back it up.
I think that's fair, though.
I think it's fair, too. Listen, I'm actually, the news reports that have been coming out, aside from the William Regal one, because if that thing gets confirmed, then I don't know if I'm that. I wasn't a huge fan of that article, but again, as everything right now is pretty much speculation. So I'm not going to hold that to him. But the news reports that came out didn't really make CM Punk look that crazy to me. Like, it kind of was like, okay, they were fucking with him, and he was getting pissed off.
These diehard AEW weirdos are going to spin it. Like,
you're gonna
all like the
you
Bucks
are
and
going to wake
Omega.
up to death threats in your email tomorrow.
That's fine. All these guys have no, they're not wrong at all. They are perfect in every sense. They did nothing wrong. It's all on this guy. And that's just not realistic. That's not real. Like, everybody, like, I think PJ said it last week, that nobody's a winner in this. They're all jerk-offs.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Punk included. They all just should have kept their
guy.
Yeah, they all should have kept their mouth shut and made their money. And I think they will make money, and CM Punk will have to see where he ends up. I think if he goes to WWE, Survivor Series, it's in Chi-Town, his hometown, blow the roof off the place, and it's a little bit of like a, hey, screw you, AEW.
It's the only place he really drills anyway, so bring him back.
Yeah, I can't see him going to Impact.
Could you imagine like Roman in the middle of the ring, like after he just beat fucking AJ Styles, and you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine? The place would go nuts.
Yeah, the place would go nuts. If I'm CM
he can't
Punk,
beat Roman though.
If I'm CM Punk, I am going to be around the arena that day. Like, just go to a bar or a restaurant, like, early in the day, grab a beer. Oh, not a beer. He doesn't drink them. Excuse me. Grab a burger, grab a Pepsi. Just let fans post that shit online. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, but at the same time, does he want to do that? If he hates WWE that much, because he knows what's going to happen, that would just drive their business.
Yeah.
So would he want to do that? But I think as far as like a fun idea, that would be fun.
Did we ever find
his name
out?
Gets out there again.
Did we ever find out if he has a no compete clause?
I have no idea.
I think Tony Khan mentioned it, and I couldn't. I had to sift through the videos, and I don't know if I saw it, but we'll get on that. We'll get the news team to investigate. We don't have a news team. We are the news team. Well, let's talk about another guy.
Thank God.
Who also has 2 letters in his first name.
What?
Yeah, L.A. Knight. See what I did there? CM Punk, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
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 This fucking guy, bro. He's like, for a second, I felt like those big pops he was getting would die out just because, like, how WWE is, they kind of just let guys fizzle if it's not their idea.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it just hasn't stopped, and it's fucking awesome because the guy is super over, he's super charismatic, he's super interesting, and I think he could lead the babyface side of things for a couple of years.
Yeah, let me talk to you for a second.
Yeah.
Put the fucking rocket to this guy's back. Let him go. He's selling merch. He's getting pops. He's over. Let this guy go. And I think they are. And I really think they are. And I think a big push is coming for this guy. That's what's in the tabloids this week. He's great on the mic. In the ring, not the best. Doesn't need to be, though. This is, I think The Miz in his match, Davey Meltzer, or whatever his name is. Meltzer. Is his name Meltzer, right?
Come on, stop acting like you don't know that jerk-off's name.
Listen, I failed science. Davey Boy gave him like a 2.5 or 3.5 star match with The Miz. That's fine.
Fuck that. Who cares about it? Listen, I'll tell you what about it. LA Knight is good in the ring. He's fine. Like you said, he's fine. He's not bad. He's not AJ Styles, but he's not the fucking Great Khali either. So
yeah.
He doesn't like. All right, look at The Rock. Right? How great was The Rock in ring?
I was just thinking that it's it. You took the words right out of my beautiful mouth, Sal.
Now, here, how about this? Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he got hurt, was a tremendous wrestler.
Yeah.
After he broke his neck, and not arguably, the hottest he's ever been, the most over he's ever been, and he was fine. He wasn't tremendous, but he was good enough. I think LA
You
Knight is good enough, especially if you put him in the ring with a guy like a Cody Rhodes. The emotion behind a match with Roman Reigns, how all of Roman's matches are, he's gonna be just fine.
This is where AEW fucks everything up.
Like,
I'll tell you
amongst
why.
other things.
This is where AEW just fucks everything up. They're creating a stigma that is untrue. And I'll explain. Hear me out. People at home, bear with me here. Not every wrestler needs to be Will Ospreay or Seth Rollins or Ricochet or fucking whoever from Kenny Omega. Not every single person on the show needs to do a monkey flip into a springboard stunner into a fucking 450 splash, and then no sell it and get super kicked 4 times. Not every person on the card, that there needs to be diversity. There needs to be diversity. LA Knight is hot. He's great on the mic. He's good in the ring. Doesn't need to be the best.
Bro,
We have Seth Rollins for that.
Wrestling.
We have Ricochet for that. We have guys in WWE for that. Chad Gable. We have guys for that. Shut the fuck up and let this guy entertain us, because that's what he's doing.
I forgot who had said it, but the least important thing about wrestling is the wrestling.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's important. But Cody Rhodes was talking about it, I think, the biggest moments in wrestling history, you don't remember the match. You remember moments. Now, all right, listen, arguably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time, Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some of the match because I remember I watched it a few times. But I guarantee most people have no idea what happened in the match. They can tell you the last image was Shawn Michaels saying, "I'm sorry, I love you."
Exactly.
Or what about Austin and Brett? My favorite match of all time, WrestleMania 13.
Mm-hmm.
The match was
Great
fantastic. You know what people remember? Stone Cold in the sharpshooter, the blood coming down his face.
Bleeding after he got hit in the face with a camera.
You know, there's just
I remember that part.
The guardrail. It was the guardrail.
It was the guardrail? Okay.
It was the guardrail.
Somebody got hit with a camera and started bleeding in some match.
But there's it's the Rock and Hogan. People remember the stare off, that you made me and you recreate that one time.
Yes.
That
crowd was fucking hot.
Right. So it's not like you could do a million fucking 450s and super kicks and cool, but that's not listen, there's great matches like that the Young Bucks have had that I've been super into and all that stuff, but it's more the emotion behind it that I'm into. I'm into the story more than anything.
As you should be, as we all should be as wrestling fans.
One of my favorite Young Bucks matches was them against Kingston and Moxley. Mm-hmm. Not the match was great, don't get me wrong, but it was the story leading into it, and also it happened to be like AEW. I think it was like one of their first shows in front of live people out of the pandemic, like real people, not just the wrestlers.
Yeah.
But the match with the story leading into it was great. The match was great. That was my favorite. That's probably my favorite Young Bucks match.
Yeah.
But it's not guaranteed one of these AEW guys that love AEW to death. And not that I don't. I love AEW, but they love that style the most. I guarantee that's not even making a list.
You know who I really like in AEW?
Who?
Eddie Kingston.
Of course,
Eddie Kingston's a fucking storyline guy. He's a storyline guy.
Of course.
He can get into cool ass storylines and make it feel real and show passion, and I love it. I love it.
Speaking of AEW stories, I don't know. I just seen it today. I don't think it was in your rundown. But you see Santana and Ortiz. So
listen,
Santana posted a promo.
Yeah,
they obviously. Broke up. They talking shit kind of about Ortiz. Ortiz responded on Twitter. Then Santana responded to him on Twitter. So I'm interested to see where they're going. Hopefully that's a nice little program we can get going forward.
I hated it. And I'll tell you why I hated it. There was no fucking rhyme or reason for it, except for Santana feeling like he was a crutch. Unless Tony Khan really was like, hey, I'm not giving you the fucking TV time for this. If they would have been in a tag match and Santana would have super kicked Ortiz's head off, the reaction would have been 10 times better. 10 times better than a fucking video on Twitter.
But
Regardless, it's
also,
done.
AEW does that thing where it's like, what they don't do shit that makes sense. But it could also be. I didn't hate it that much because it's like more of a. Not everything to me has to be in the ring. It could be like a promo, and then like his natural reaction would be if that was the first time him seeing it, he probably would go right to Twitter and be like, "All right, cool. What the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying? So like it's somewhat realistic to me. I'm okay with it, but I am interested to see where that goes. Hopefully you know what though, I always thought that if one of them was to break out, it would be Santana. He just has like
he has a size.
Yeah. But I'm just such a big fan of both of them together. I don't want to, even though AEW has done absolutely nothing with them for the last 3 years or whatever it is, 4 years they've been there. But it's just, dude, those guys are fucking great. Why?
Listen, I've been in the ring with both of them. I haven't worked a match against them, but I've trained with them. And Santana definitely has size. Ortiz looks
gimmick,
great.
Ortiz is great, and he's charismatic as a motherfucker. He's got.
He is just very larger than life.
Very entertaining. It's going to be a shame to see them. I'm sure they'll eventually get back together.
I hope that they treat Ortiz right, though.
I don't think they're going to. Do you see what they did to him before he left when Santana got hurt? It was they felt bad for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, fucking AEW. But yeah, to circle back to LA Knight, man.
Oh, how the fuck did we get this far?
I don't know, but they. Don't worry, I'm reeling us back in. Yeah, AEW created this stigma that every single match has to have 55 monkey flips, and it's not true. LA Knight doesn't need to do that. Put the rocket on this guy's back, and I think they are. Look, this is what happened on Friday.
This was big.
The exchange, the Paul Heyman LA Knight exchange, where Paul Heyman says to him, "Hey, I'm a big fan of your work, but," and of course he threw the butt in there, said something like, "Stay the fuck out of our way" or something.
He just said, "Knock next time I'm in here."
Knock next time I'm taking a shit in the toilet.
And the best part about LA Knight is he's going to use that term when he interrupts Roman Reigns in a few weeks.
Yeah, he was going to be like, "Listen, I knocked on the door, but nobody was there. I guess you guys were in the ring already. I'm sorry."
He's going to say something about knocking.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that. If that's not a clear sign that they have something in store for him, I don't know what is. Here's where I feel bad for LA Knight in this situation. Is he's getting really hot and they're going to push him. But how far they push him is my concern, because they have that spot that he's kind of in right now, or he's aiming for, is like handmade for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
That top babyface over there, that's going to beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You
have a curveball in the mix.
Right.
And
that wasn't them. That was the people.
Yeah. But I'm Gunther too. Gunther's name gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, but he's a heel. I'm talking about the top babyface.
Yeah.
That could dethrone Roman Reigns. For the last year, it's been like, all right, it's got to be Cody. And then he lost at Mania, so now it's like, all right, they're going there again. And it makes sense, especially now with, the whole Jey Uso thing and then them teasing that somebody has to get traded over. Cool. But now LA Knight is like, you're going to run the risk of like, kind of the same. It's going to be hard because people want LA Knight. And it's like, almost like the Roman Reigns thing from 8 years ago, where it's like, but there's a guy that we want, and we're going to push him into that spot. Yeah. And what's going to happen? You might create some resentment. I know that they diverted it last year with the Sami Zayn stuff. They did a good job of finding their way around that last year.
Yeah.
But I don't see anywhere for LA Knight to really be the main event babyface on SmackDown, because I see Cody Rhodes going over there, and that's the only person I could see them having any kind of desire to dethrone Roman Reigns.
I think a way you avoid it, make LA Knight win the Rumble and go after Seth. or have a heel, or have Nakamura beat Seth, hold the title, and have LA Knight go after Nakamura.
I was thinking that too, but then it's like, all right, then you have him and Jey Uso over there. I guess 2-for-1 deal on the Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, why waste the interaction with Paul Heyman?
They're definitely going somewhere. It's probably
Right.
where the fuck is Roman Reigns? Is he alive? Is he okay?
He's wherever he goes, whenever he doesn't have.
He's
anything
probably
to do.
off filming something. I don't know. Where the fuck is he? I haven't seen him in like a couple of months now.
Bro,
Like,
it's in SummerSlam, right? It's in SummerSlam,
I miss him. We need him back.
Acknowledge me.
I want to acknowledge him, but I
Big
can't
fan
because
of
he's not
Roman
on the
Reigns.
fucking TV.
But I mean, listen, I think they're doing the best thing. I know everybody kind of talks shit about him not being there every week. But what the hell are you going to do with him every week without it being repetitive? He's beaten literally everybody.
I don't think he needs to be there every week. I'm just fucking around. But
He's going to
I'm
come. I
kinda
think what's
actually
going to
wanna see
happen
him.
is the Styles thing is going to happen. He's going to work with Styles at some point, probably maybe like Survivor Series or something.
Mhm.
I think that's where they go with that. And then probably do something into the Rumble, and then they'll go into Mania, and then he's, that's it.
That's it, and then he'll take off he'll go on vacation again, like Joe Biden.
Right. Oh, don't be ringing the, come on, bro.
No. We're trying to stay away from politics. Listen, you mentioned Trump. I mentioned Biden. But we covered both sides of
I was
the
talking
political
about
spectrum.
the article and how funny it was.
We covered both sides of the political spectrum.
Oh,
We're good.
God.
We have listen, they love us. They love us all. Let's get into what you just mentioned. Jey Uso. Traded to Raw. Definitely for Cody. It has to be for Cody, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Now, is Jey Uso completely out of this bloodline storyline now?
No, because they're going
Like-
to weave him back in around WrestleMania season.
Yeah,
I
how
don't
do
see
you
the
think they
bloodline
do
as a
it?
story anymore, though.
Okay.
I see it more as, like, I mean, obviously it's members of the bloodline, but I think the bloodline melodrama is pretty much over.
Okay.
First of all, the leader of it isn't there every week to really kind of push that. So that's first of all. It's falling apart. They already did it. They milked it. I think these guys are still going to be involved with each other to an extent, but I don't know if it's I don't think the bloodline is going to be the dominant thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
I don't
eventually,
think it is either.
no, I think they're going to Jay and Jimmy at WrestleMania. The only way to kind of separate them, they had to separate them, I should say, for it to get to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And I think putting him on Raw and putting him kind of back with Sammy, at least on Monday, to kind of see where it's going.
Yeah.
I think that was the right thing. And I think it's also great that the baby faces are still not like, oh, good, you're a good guy, so I'm going to be your friend again. Like you see the interactions he had with McIntyre or Riddle. These are guys that he beefed with when he was part of the bloodline.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that now they're going to tease, like, is he going to go with the Judgment Day? We all know the answer to that, but they're going to tease it for a little bit, right? And eventually he's going to get the big moment with Sammy. And then, Sammy and Kevin Owens are not going to agree. And Sammy's going to be like, no, we got to be friends with him. And Kevin Owens is going to be like, no, fuck this guy. So that's going to see, we're going to see where that goes. That could eventually lead to a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn feud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could easily go there if you want to go that way.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see where they go with this.
Yeah, and I like the whole, people not welcoming with open arms because they have issues with them from the past. It's a lot of different things you could do.
That's great.
And you mentioned these guys. You mentioned the Judgment Day. These guys are on fire, man. Like when Edge had this group, and they were doing a lot of like the Undertaker supernatural type of thing, or that's what they thought it was supposed, like that was like where it's supposed to go or something like that, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Everybody like kind of thought like the Judgment Day wasn't going to work and it was going to be stupid. These fast forward, these guys are on fire, man.
These are great. They're great.
They did really, really well. Dominic Mysterio can't even put the mic to his lips without them fucking going crazy, man.
Heat magnet.
Yeah, he has nuclear heat, man, and
They're
I think
tremendous. I can't say enough. I want to see them do more with Rhea as like in the women's division. You know, they obviously she's almost comes off as almost like the leader of the group in some ways.
Yeah,
which is
and
fine.
her feuds like after Mania have been shit.
Right. And I don't think it's necessarily her fault. It's just the
No,
booking behind it has been.
Yeah.
But she's been champion since WrestleMania, and name one title defense that was significant.
But are there significant contenders?
That's their fault. No.
Yeah, there's none.
Not on Raw.
There's
Who's on? Well, she's on Raw.
Yeah.
Who's on Raw? Is Becky's on Raw? There you go. That's somebody.
Becky's.
But you want to save that.
She's going
Ideally,
to
you want to
NXT.
save. Well, now. But you want to save the Becky because that's the biggest one you can get. So you're going to save that probably for like a WrestleMania or something.
But you know something? They need to expand the women's division a little bit, I feel, because we've seen a lot of these fucking matches. We've seen Rhea Becky. We've seen, Rhea Charlotte multiple times. We've seen all this. Like, we've seen it so many times.
They don't have enough women on the roster that are over.
Yeah.
And the ones that are good enough maybe aren't ready to be on television.
Bring in Nia Jax. Bring her back. I miss her.
I could do without her, but yeah, sure.
She's another one that punches people in the face.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That created the man, Becky Lynch, though, in some ways. Like, she was
It
over, and she was getting there. People were really behind her, and then that happened. It was like it just shot her up.
Where does this guy stand in this whole Judgment Day storyline?
He is going to be the new guy. That's what's going to happen.
You
He's
think
gonna
so?
Get put in. I know so. Well, I don't know so, but
Sal with the inside scoop.
Yeah, Finn Balor's my best friend. No, I think that he has to be a part of the group in some way. Maybe like the prospect. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go biker gang relation,
Yeah,
but he's gonna be part of that group. He's gonna be the heater. He's gonna be the one that gets beat up by all these people. As he already is. He's not even part of the group yet.
I think that he is put in this position to slowly drive a wedge between Finn and Priest. And he's going to be the reason why they break up.
Oh, it's terrible because they're so good right now.
It's terrible. But eventually I think it has to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I think Damian Priest is definitely good enough to be on his own.
I wasn't that into him before he got put, like, before the Judgment, before all this stuff.
I thought he was really cool at NXT.
Yeah, but then he got to the main roster, and I don't know. You know what it is? Maybe it'd be different with Triple H because now they actually get a little bit of a chance to show some personality.
Yeah.
But before that, he was just like another big guy on the roster. It's like, okay,
he was another Baron Corbin.
Yeah, better, but yeah.
Yeah, but he was
generic big guy that looks cool and does cool stuff.
Quick in the ring.
With Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, so that was cool. But there was nothing really there to grab hold of. And now with this Judgment Day stuff, it's been great. I would hate to see him taken away from that because it's like, all right, then he feuds with the Judgment Day, right? Obviously. And then after that, where does he go?
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. I think, I don't know. It's there's a lot of shit going on, man. There's a lot to keep track of.
And it's not bad. It's all pretty good. Like, like any other show, you can have your moments where you're like,
yeah.
But for the most part, for the most part, WWE's been like, been pretty good in terms of storylines and my interest in certain things. Like, there was a period of time for a number of years where I knew it was on. I just didn't care to put it on. Yeah. And then over the last year and a half or so, I've been really like interested in most of it.
You know something that happened that really pissed me off?
What?
Shinsuke Nakamura said no to a title match, a title rematch. He said no.
Could you
multiple
imagine?
Times. No. No.
Yeah, I don't
why?
get that. Yeah,
Why?
I don't get that.
Wouldn't he want a fucking? I want a title match.
Right? I don't.
Seth's hurt. He was beat up from the night before.
Right.
His back was broken. Beat him up again. Take the title.
My back, it's broken.
listen, I get it. They're doing like the typical heel bullshit. Oh, I want
Yeah, but that works more
my
when
way,
if
my
he's the champion.
terms.
Yeah, but if he's the champion, that makes sense. He's not the champion, so it's like,
Exactly.
and the whole thing you're building up is like the whole like I know his weakness and I'm gonna exploit it, and then he did. He just happened to get caught with something.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to go like, all right, let's go right now?
Yeah.
get
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But I'm willing to see where it goes Monday night to see, you know what I mean? Like, all right, where do they take it? Because it's just right now. It's like, why would he? When he said no, I was like, I knew they were going there because the way the promo was being built, I knew it was like he was gonna like decline for some reason.
Yeah.
And I just when he said no, I'm thinking, I'm like, but why?
I don't know. If you guys can tell us in the comments why Shinsuke Nakamura would not want a fucking championship title match, knowing Seth Rollins is not 100%.
No idea.
Beats me. Maybe there's a bigger. I don't know. I don't know what the answer could be.
Yeah, there is no answer. It's just illogical.
Yeah.
And it's like a kind of like, to me, it's like an odd bump in the road of an otherwise really good program.
Mm-hmm.
But again, who knows? We'll see where it goes, and then maybe next week we'll be talking about how much fucking idiots we are for not, you know what I mean? For not just being like, you know what? We should have just fucking waited.
Remember, they're making steaks, not hamburgers. That's a Triple H or Roman Reigns quote. One of them.
Yeah, probably sounds like a Roman Reigns quote, to be honest.
Yeah. Gunther.
Great match.
Did
you see Gable's child crying? Did he not tell her what was going to happen before?
Probably not. I thought that was the best part of that match, was seeing his daughter cry.
It made like the enormity of it that much more.
Yes, it was brilliant. Even me, I felt bad.
Yeah, I felt terrible. Bro, when I see his kids, I was like, is he going to be the one? Like, there's no way they're going to put them in the front row and this guy's going to lose. And then he lost. But,
it's
I don't know,
brilliant.
If Goddard and Killian are there, I'm probably going to be like, hey, guys, listen, you know.
Dad ain't coming home with the gold tonight.
No, I don't want to. And by the way, this guy is going to chop me, but, like, he doesn't hate me. You know, I don't know how I'd be able to.
Yeah.
But, like, his
daughter. This guy's
going
to kill me, but he loves me.
His daughter, and if that was, like, talked about in the back with his daughter, like, hey, cry, she needs to be put in Hollywood or something, because that was tremendous. I felt so bad. It was like, for real.
It was so good.
There was no smartening her up at all. It was just like she just watched her daddy get his ass kicked and then lose.
And they kept zooming in on her.
Oh,
I could see Triple H in the back saying, "Put the fucking camera on her again. Put the camera on her."
Tears.
Yeah. Zoom in.
Oh, it's so
this
good.
is great TV. It was great TV.
Did you see the promo that Gable cut after?
I did.
That was really good too. And I'm like, I wouldn't, we all spend all this time like, who's gonna be the one that throws Walter, blah blah blah. Or Gunther. You know what? I want to see Gable now. Like, I want to see him get it.
Get away. Listen, Chad Gable, sir. I know you're not going to watch this for a fact. But if someone who knows Chad Gable watches this and sends this to him, please just listen to me here. Get away from the goofy shit. He's a fucking really good wrestler. He can work. He has the look. He is Kurt Angle 2.0.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
I hate the goofy stuff. I hate the thank you and the shush. Yeah, it got him to the dance. It got him to the dance, but now he needs to evolve. Remember what Triple H said? In the wrestling business, you need to either adapt or whatever, die off. Whatever he said. Paraphrasing here.
But at the same time,
adapt or perish.
All right, but the goofy shit is entertaining. Yes, he's a great wrestler, but it goes back to our point earlier. Great wrestler, who gives a fuck? The goofy shit is what makes him who he is. Kurt Angle was a goofy motherfucker, but when that bell rang, you knew you took him serious.
Yeah.
I don't mind the goofy shit when it's, but like, because he can obviously be serious when the time calls for it, like Monday night. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all right, he's goofy as a motherfucker, but you know what? When the bell rings, I felt he actually had a chance.
I think to me, I want such good things for Chad Gable that I'm like really being nitpicky with him. You know what I mean? Like any other person, I would be like, I don't give a shit. I really like I'm a huge Chad Gable guy.
So am I.
Like I love Chad Gable. I want him to just rip people's heads off. Like I want Chad Gable to be a main event guy. I think he could be a main
You gotta
event
remember,
guy.
bro. He's fucking 5 foot something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a big guy, so they're not gonna push him like that. He needs that extra, layer,
Something.
which is something funny. He's a comedic. He's awesome with and he's doesn't have to do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's best about him is like he could turn the switch on and off, which I think is important.
So it's like that old kind of thought process of just letting them be themselves. I wish they would let Chad Gable just be himself.
I think
And
that is who he is. I think.
You think he just walks around like wakes up in the morning and then like his dog's barking and he goes, "Shoosh!"
All right. Well, do you think The Rock walks around and says, "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?"
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think he walks to a restaurant and he goes, smell what The Rock is cooking? 100%.
Or do you think he just like goes up to somebody, "Hey, nice to meet you. What's your name?" And it doesn't. Think he's actually doing that?
Yes.
No. But it's just yes, it's part of who he is as a charismatic. Like he's just a charismatic, funny guy. I think Chad Gable. I don't think he's going around saying "shoosh" to anybody.
No.
But I think he is just a goofy person.
Yeah. I just fear that the goofiness is gonna hold him back. They're gonna look at him as more of a comedy act than a serious threat to people's championships.
But I don't think they'll ever put him as a series without the
Without the goofy, he won't.
Without the entertainment part of him.
Yeah.
I don't see them pushing him because he's so small. Like, you're gonna put him in the ring with Damian Priest, or imagine Chad Gable without the entertaining aspect of him just being put against Gunther. Now, mind you, during this feud, he hasn't been being a comedian. Like he hasn't just been being a comedian. But if it wasn't for the entertaining aspect of his personality, he wouldn't have got to this point to begin with.
Yeah.
Bro, you see how he was in American Alpha? Great tag team, no personality, and they did them nothing.
Yeah. Well, they got a tag team title reign.
They got in NXT, but when they finally got brought up to the main roster, they floundered. And he's been floundering, and he was floundering until, in my opinion, until the Otis pairing with the Alpha Academy, and then he started to show a little bit of his personality.
Yeah, I just, I fear for the guy, and hopefully they treat him right. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I think they're doing a great job by him right now.
This guy is a psycho.
No, Steiner.
Psychopath. He needs to be jailed for
That was tremendous.
Attempted murder.
That was
on
nuts. Man.
Von Wagner. Or is it Van Wagner? I don't know.
I think it's Von.
Von Wagner.
Whatever it is, Von, Van Wagner, whatever. That was cool.
It was very cool. And there was a lot of people online that were saying things like, "Oh my God, that was such a dangerous spot. She should have never done that. He could have killed him."
It's all people that have never been
up.
in the ring in their life.
Yeah. Listen, wrestling fans, I love them. They watch our podcast.
Don't tell a wrestler how to do their job, though.
Yeah, don't tell a wrestler how to do their job. And to be honest with you guys, wrestlers fuck up a lot, and you guys have absolutely no idea because you don't know what's coming next. Just let them do their thing. He's Von Wagner's fine, but it was so funny to see everybody like, "Yo, this is really fucked up. This was like
good.
Crazy."
I
thought it was a great spot.
They went to black. I like how they just kind of leaked photos of
Yes.
him on the fucking ambulance after, or on the gurney after. It was great.
That's like such a Triple H thing.
Right, and the best part was they didn't leak the photos like a WWE.com exclusive. Like they let whether it was actually fans taking the pictures or not, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
could be just could have been like one of the wrestlers' brothers in their audience, like, "Yo, take a picture for us," like make it seem like a fan cam kind of thing. But whatever it was, but it worked. It was cool.
Yeah, I love the Fade to Black.
That was really good.
That was so Triple H. Remember that happened in
Well, I think that was
when
probably
Triple
a
H
Shawn Michaels call.
probably, but Triple H
because he's the one who produces the show.
Yeah, when Triple H first took over for Vinnie Mac, there was a cool thing where they did a backstage segment and they bumped into the camera and they faded to black, and I thought that was so cool. I think it was like Austin Theory and somebody else, and they were scuffling backstage. They bump into the cameraman, and it cuts off the feed, and they go to commercial. I loved it, and I loved it here again. I think it was great. So kudos to
I
Shawn
think
Michaels
it's about
for
time
that.
they bring this Braun Breaker guy up because it's like
Didn't he get called up, or am I crazy?
I don't know.
I thought he got
I'm-
traded to like Raw or something during the draft.
Well, he lost the belt a while ago to Carmelo Hayes, and then they had
And I think people automatically thought he was going to get brought
right,
up.
and then he did, and he lost again. It's like, all right, time to bring him up. Like, what are we waiting for?
But maybe this will do him good because he looks good right now.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be.
He looks good. He's going to be a monster heel, I think.
Yes, oh yeah, I think he has to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you? But I think you need to bring him up almost as like somebody's heavy first. You know, just to insert him somewhere.
The Miz.
And
Bring him
could
up
be, yeah, it could be
against LA Knight.
right. No, you know what? That's fine. You know, bring him in, let him be somebody's muscle for a little bit. Like, or you got to go in with the assumption that nobody knows who he is, right? He's just
Yeah.
Then you kind of start telling him he is, and just let him do like quick things here or there, and just look like a monster until it's time to unleash him, so to speak.
We have
Don't just put him out there, because eventually, if you just throw him up there and you start feeding, he's just going to end up being either that or just feed him squash matches, which is fine. But you can't have this guy just be another guy. He's not the same. He's one of these guys that's not going to go out there and just fucking put on the Dave Meltzer 5-star classic. So people might, if you just put him up there and just make him another guy, it's going to be a problem. He has a chance to be special.
I want to see him squash Great Khali in 20 seconds.
That'd be great.
This is so fun.
That is fun.
Samoa Joe, MJF, the callback, NXT. This was so fun to watch. And I'm actually, listen, I'm not excited for many things that AEW is putting out, but I'm actually excited for this. I think this is going to be great. I think this is absolutely going to be great.
I think this is the only outcome for that stupid tournament they're holding. It's got to be Joe winning.
Oh, listen, we're going to get into this tournament right now, but this...
Well, because I think this is where the tournament's leading to, is this right here.
Why have the tournament
Right.
at that point?
You're putting a tournament together for a main event world title match with a bunch of guys that are not main eventers.
I have the tournament bracket.
Yeah, put it up.
Darby Allin.
You could argue Darby Allin is in at least the upper mid mix, right?
You took the words right out of Meltzer's mouth. He said the same thing. Yeah, he said the same thing. Darby Allin, you could argue for him, but
Nick Wayne, who the fuck is that? Bruce Wayne, who is this? Trent, don't ruin this. Nick Wayne, he's 18 years old. He's probably going to be really good. He does not belong in this tournament. Trent Beretta.
Why is Trent Beretta's name the only name grayed out?
Because he's the only one that lost so far, as according to, I guess, when this graphic.
I guess, okay. I just thought maybe he wasn't as important as everybody else.
So Trent Beretta, I like him, but no.
I like him too.
Roderick Strong makes sense only because of the Adam Cole thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. Why? I like Joe, but whatever. Penta
Why Jeff Hardy? Is Matt Hardy not good enough?
Penta and Jay Lethal. I like Penta, but is he worthy of being in the main event mix right now? Absolutely not.
Where the fuck is Orange Cassidy?
Right. Where's Hangman Adam Page? Where's Kenny Omega? Where is John Moxley? Why is he not
Adam
in it?
Cole?
Danielson? Adam Cole. Well, yeah, Adam Cole. They shot.
You could have threw Adam Cole in there.
Right.
That adds to the story.
And you know what? And then it sets up this Grand Slam show is one of their bigger. What?
This Grand Slam tournament.
Yeah. But the show itself that they hold in Queens is one of their bigger Wednesday dynamites of the year. It's like treated like a special time.
Yeah, it's like when Monday Night Raw comes to the Barclays Center. It's like same
even
thing.
Bigger than that because it's actually treated as like a special show. Like it's treated it's like not the same as every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why we made not one of those guys against MJF makes me want to tune in to watch the match. I'm interested in Joe and MJF to an extent, but also Joe is 40-something years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's not what he used to be, which is fine. Who could be at that age? Completely fine. But I don't want to see him main event one of the biggest shows of your year with the world champion.
Yeah.
Any other Dynamite, fine, but why this one?
Best line out of that whole promo segment, Samoa Joe saying that I'm over there and the other company's network being the biggest
with the
star.
Twisted Metal during it, yeah.
Yeah, it's great because he's Twisted
really
Metal's
hard.
on Peacock.
But that tournament's so stupid. But it's not the first time they've done that. If you go back, I think they had a tournament for something. I think it was another MJF title match.
Yeah.
And like, why are these people in this tournament? Why are your top guys not in this?
And they didn't need the tournament.
No,
just go straight to Joe and fucking MJF.
If that's where you're going, just go with it. Why
just
the tournament?
There.
Everybody knows where you're going with it. Why even bother with the tournament?
I think I really want to know who's fucking putting together these bookings for AEW because this makes no sense to me.
Oh no,
no
it's
sense.
Stupid.
No sense. A lot of things that wrestling companies, WWE too, we scratch our heads, but this one is like, where are all these guys? Where are they? The main event guys are not even in the main event picture.
That's so stupid.
I don't know. Sal,
Ian,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who's the GOAT of professional wrestling?
Are we talking all timer right now?
So John Cena came out and said that Roman Reigns is the GOAT right now. Do you agree with John Cena's statement?
Well, GOAT refers to greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say
is
no.
Is Roman Reigns the greatest
No.
WWE Universal Champion of all time?
No. I think he's the best right now. And I don't think there's a close second.
Out of both companies, do you think
Roman
Reigns
every company in the world, it's
Roman Reigns is top guy?
100%.
I agree with that.
For all time, no.
No.
Austin, I mean, listen, I can't stand Hogan, but Hogan, like, how could you deny that? Rock.
Yeah.
I would say, I would say probably goes Hogan, Austin, 1 and 1A. Personally, I'd put Austin just because I grew up with that.
Yeah.
But you could argue that Hulk Hogan is responsible for making wrestling as popular as it is right now. And then Stone Cold was partly responsible for digging it out of the mud. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah, the Monday Night Wars.
Right. And it's like Roman Reigns, I think, is the best right now, without question. I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's a close second. Mm-hmm. But to say the greatest of all time, nah.
You know what's funny? And people will say this. They'll say, Roman Reigns can't hold a candle to Kenny Omega. AEW is not putting up viewership, pay-per-view buy numbers, nowhere near WWE.
Well, WWE doesn't put pay-per-view buys up anymore because they're on the network.
No, because of the network.
But the viewership is there.
The viewership is there, and the ass is in seats because AEW is struggling right now to sell tickets for their next event. That was another story. That's the story that came out of All Out, and now this again is coming out for this show. The viewership is down. The pay-per-view buys were down.
Roman Reigns does what wrestling is supposed to do. He makes you care.
Yeah.
He makes you believe. He makes you feel whatever he's doing. Bro, obviously we all know what wrestling is, but like, if you tell me right now Roman Reigns is the biggest jerk in the world, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, he is. That seems like a scumbag.
Yeah, I like that.
Probably every interview you've ever seen seems like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
But I believe in the character, and I want to see him get his ass whooped. I want to see him fucking get his comeuppance. In AEW, who's the top guy? MJF could be really the top guy if they just, pushed him as the top guy, which he kind of is. But it's like they don't know what they want to do with him yet. Do they want to make him a heel? Do they want to make him a baby? They have no idea what they're doing with him. It seems like, well, they might have an idea, but they're not there yet. And then you got your biggest stars on the sidelines. Where's Omega? Where's Page? Where's Moxley? Danielson? Why are they not in this? WWE would never. I can't see them having a world heavyweight, number one contender tournament. And well, actually, maybe I don't know. Like, imagine a tournament to Roman Reigns with like, I don't know, Kaiser in it. You know what I mean?
Kaiser versus Dominic Mysterio.
But like at least Dom is like over.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that Kaiser, the Imperium's great, but what I mean by that is like, all right, Dom would be a great person to have in the tournament in the sense, or somebody over that could lose.
Mustafa
But like
Ali.
Ricochet versus Kaiser, like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Roman Reigns greatest of all time? No, greatest right now, without a doubt.
Let us know what you guys think. Who is your GOAT?
I'm gonna say Austin.
Greatest
I'm gonna go with Austin
of all time.
In terms of what for professional wrestling, I'm gonna go Austin.
Yeah, professional wrestling.
I'm going Austin.
My greatest of all time is The Undertaker because just the work ethic, loyalty.
Yeah, but here's what I think you're doing.
The character.
I think when you go to like work ethic and loyalty, you're talking more of the behind the scenes thing.
Well, I'm just talking about I'm talking about like just his dedication to the character.
Well, yeah.
Like that's what I mean by work ethic.
My favorite of all time is Bret Hart. That's my favorite wrestler ever. It always will be. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't the biggest star ever.
Yeah.
I think the biggest star is probably Hogan and then Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, Rock, you could argue, but The Rock was popular in WWE, but obviously he got more popular because of Hollywood.
John Cena everybody knows John Cena. Right.
That's what I mean. I don't think everybody knows who Roman Reigns is yet. But if you ask people on the street about wrestling, they'll be like, "Oh, Hulk Hogan or The Rock or John Cena
or Stone Cold."
You know,
that's your Mount Rushmore right there, pal.
Right.
Well, then you got Ric Flair. I think there needs to be a Mount Rushmore
Ric Flair is
per
very well
generation
known by wrestling fans and like people that are older wrestling fans. But if I went to, somebody across the street that never watched wrestling in their life, I'm sure they would not know who Ric Flair is.
Yeah.
Maybe they do, but maybe they don't.
I actually spoke to somebody recently and they didn't know who Ric Flair was.
Right. Now, mind you, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But, maybe they've heard the name. Oh, maybe, but I couldn't tell you. But everybody knows who The Rock is. Everybody knows who Stone Cold, Hogan, and Cena is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even The Undertaker is very well known. People, you said wrestling. I mean, again, maybe non-wrestling fans might not really know what he looks like or anything. I think you put him in the same category where Flair is. People have heard the name. Maybe they don't know what he looks like or what it's about, but they've heard the name. At the very least.
Do you think Stardust is going to be on the Mount Rushmore?
Stardust wasn't terrible.
I hated it.
I know Cody hates it, and I guess you hate it. I mean, I wasn't. Considering the run he was on, I felt like they really missed an opportunity with him right before that.
Yeah, I just hate that he had a star on his face, and his name was Stardust, Goldust, and Stardust.
Well, that was the point. His father mentioned Stardust in a promo 20 years before. I think that's where they got it from.
Well, I mean, I really liked them, the two brothers together, but I thought the star, looked like, what's that, from SpongeBob, is Barnacle Boy and the other guy who has a star on his face, a starfish on his face. That's what he looked like. Okay, we have gone way over the time limit here. So I think it's time to get into wrestling trivia. Shall we?
Yeah. Yeah, I like your little dance every week, huh? You like the polka.
Yes. Welcome to another rendition of Hot Tag Trivia. I am your host, Billy, with my beautiful contestant, Sal. Salvatore, how are you feeling this evening?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Are you ready for some wrestling trivia?
Oh, yeah.
I am also ready for the wrestling trivia. And this one is going to be a good one this week. And we'll see if I could stump you. I have yet to stump you, but I have a feeling this week.
The podcast is young, though, so.
The podcast is young. You could say that again. Let me get 60 seconds on the clock here. And we will begin. So in case you're new to Wrestling Trivia, I ask Sal a bunch of questions. Well, I give him a bunch of hints, and he has to guess the wrestler. So we're going to get 60 seconds on the clock. He has 60 seconds to figure it out. And if he figures it out, he gets the bell. All right, and here we go. So this gentleman was born May 30th, 1955. He had 8 children. 8. That's a lot of children. His father's name was Grizzly Smith.
Jake Roberts.
Mother. I'm done.
Bro, you're giving away, like, you gave it away with that. Come on.
Grizzly Smith?
Yeah, you gotta be better than that. Get this timer off. I got this right at 20 seconds in.
I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm not. You know what? For Hot Tag Trivia, next week, new host. I'm gonna give you hard questions. Piers Morgan. I'm gonna call him on the telephone. Well, folks, thank you for playing along for Hot Tag Trivia. Like this video if you also were able to get it right in 1.6 seconds, like Sal. And if you guys have any questions that you would like me to ask him, because apparently mine are too easy, send me a DM or email me at chathotTagPodcast@gmail.com. I promise you Sal won't see them because I locked him out of the email. I thought that was a good one. Grizzly Smith.
You know, once you said, like, oh, his father's name, whatever, I was like, all right, that's going to be, like, the one that gets me to where I need to get to.
Yeah, but, like, it's not like I said his father's, like, hey, his father is Stu Hart. Grizzly Smith.
Bro, Stu Hart would have been a better guess because I would have had, like, 8 guys to guess through. I would have had, you know what I mean? Is it Owen, Brett?
Note to self, pick a heart next week. A random heart.
Is it Bruce? A lot of hearts.
Sal. Yeah. And my heart is heavy for you, my friend. Salvatore, we're almost approaching the 90-minute mark here.
Oh, God, what?
Yeah, listen, there was a lot to cover, and people love hearing our sweet symphonic voice anyway. We are going to just fill someone's day in their car ride on a road trip. They're going to pop us on Apple Podcasts, and they're going to listen to this 90 minutes and say, you know what? It's the best 90 minutes I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
You know, thank you guys for watching our stuff and, you know, showing so much love and appreciation. We've gotten some beautiful messages over the last week. And some change. You know, people have been enjoying the podcast, and, you know, we just want to say thank you for your support. Make sure you guys scan that QR code, follow us on all social media, and share this. You know, share it with your friends and family. Join us for Hot Tag Trivia. We're just one big happy family, and we love you guys. We love doing this. So, Sal, you know what time it is?
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Thank you guys. See you guys next week.